Welcome to episode 254 of Real Therapy, the place where we talk about how movies make us feel. I'm your host, Donavon Thompson, with my co-host,
Daniel Wingfield.
and today we're discussing HBO Max's second season of Peacemaker, written and showrun by James Gunn. John Cena returns as the hero Peacemaker in a multiverse shenanigan story for the ages in the DCU studios, and we might talk about Alien Earth at the very end of the episode. This is Real Therapy, and you know what that means.
They're gonna talk about how it makes them feel. They're gonna watch all the movie reels, cause it's Dan and Don in Real Therapy. It's real.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Happy it's Friday.
Me too. I'm very happy it's Friday. Very, very happy. You ready to talk some Peacemaker season 2? It's been a long time.
I've been ready for a while. Yeah, let's dig right into it.
Part of me was kind of thinking like, oh yeah, we talked about season 1 or episode 1 last week, and I was like, wait a minute, no, we haven't. We haven't talked about.
Last week we did it was a second Alien Earth episode,
Yeah,
which you would know if you had subscribed to our YouTube or our Spotify or our Apple. You would already know that Donavon was wrong when he said that. I'd be like, no, I listened to last week's episode. It was really good. It was about like the second through the third episode of Alien Earth, and we talked about that crazy eyeball thing. And you really should go check that out. And you really already should have checked that out, if I'm being honest. I'm a little disappointed, but you can make things right if you go subscribe to all of our things. And then we will forgive you. Thank you.
who doesn't want to make things right? Are you that kind of person?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't you want
right?
to get this off your conscience? I mean, it's just so easy. So
You'd feel better for your weekend. That's just me talking.
yeah, you would.
Yeah. So Peacemaker season 2, it's been, I think, 3.5 years since season 1, back whenever, this is before James Gunn was in charge of DC Studios. This was kind of still lingering from the remnants of the DCEU. I believe this came out even before Black Adam, if I'm correct. So
Yeah, I think
it was
so.
just kind of a weird time. So anyway, we're here in season 2 now, and there's been a lot of questions going into this, obviously, because how does it connect to the new regime, DCU Studios? And then, of course, where's it going to go next? James Gunn has been really prominent in press saying this is like a sequel to Superman. Like, if you want to know what's going to happen in the rest of the DCU for a little bit, you have to watch this show. And on top of that, you know, all reviewers have gotten the first 5 episodes of the show, and so the Rotten Tomato score is based off that. But no one knows the last 3 episodes. But not even his publicist has seen the last 3 episodes. He said there's some really big swings there, and you'll know the direction of the DCU after this, which is like, whoa, like that feels important. And I wonder if he's not, just being a little hyperbolic. But anyway, let's talk about the first episodes, Daniel. I know you just did a rewatch on not only the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker season 1. So what were your expectations going into season 2? And then also, did they meet it so far, or how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think my expectations were more Peacemaker, and I really enjoyed season 1. I think, we talked about it on here and then later confirmed it with an article, but it's so funny. I just gotten done watching this past, I guess, like kind of summer. My wife and I watched all the Danny McBride shows on HBO. So we went backwards. We started with Righteous Gemstones, and then we went back to Vice Principals, and then we went back to Eastbound and Down. And I swear to you, Danny McBride's character in Eastbound and Down is Peacemaker without superpowers. is who he is. And it's great. It's this I would actually say Peacemaker is actually a bit more emotionally intelligent and authentic than Danny McBride. Like, Danny McBride is like Peacemaker with less redeeming qualities, less ways to empathize with him in that show. And that's kind of the point. He's kind of trying to play like a horrible person, but it's just my cup of tea. It's ridiculous, over the top humor. I love when characters react like nonsensically, like deny obvious lies. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff, or they like make up all this shit for why, to justify why they're right and everyone else is wrong, even though no one agrees with them. And so it's my vibe of humor. It's kind of gross out, like bloody, violent-y kind of stuff, which, tickles a certain fancy for me sometimes. And so like I just wanted more of that. And I feel like what I'm getting is better actually than what I got with season one. In that I do feel like, season one was amazing, but it was also, I would say it's pretty fast paced. I feel like it felt the need to hook you into the narrative, hook you into these characters. It realized that even though, Suicide Squad had happened, Peacemaker's still like a nobody IP character. You probably don't like him because of what he did in Suicide Squad. So they had all this groundwork to like make him redeemable, make him likable, make the team come together, figure out the plot. And it's this world ending, the plot is the world is ending from a different bad source. So kind of a generic superhero plot, even though this one had some interesting wrinkles, I would say, or it was fun. This to me is like almost what I want with every sequel for anything is like, okay, it's not about saving the world. It's now about your character. It's now about, let's take you, our character, on the most grueling character development, dig into the past, kind of shit that to me, it's just like, I'm almost like, it gives me like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually getting this. I can't believe this is what he's giving to us. He's not trying to up the stakes in terms of the butterflies are back and now they're scorpions or some shit. You know what I mean? No, it's like, no.
Way worse than butterflies. Yeah.
yeah.
Butterfreeze.
Pokemon. No, but it's like, no, let's dig into all the trauma we hinted at last season. You know what I mean? Let's dig up this shit and really dig deep into what makes Chris and what he really wants out of life. And can he even figure that out? Like, that shot in episode 1 of him just sitting there, like listening, I guess, to his dad, and like they had just left the room and they were all like treating him so kindly. And so like
that
shot,
grabs his ear when he's like, love you, buddy, or whatever.
Yeah. And then he like breaks down crying. It's just like, our main character breaking down and crying was like the climax of episode 1. But you just can't do that with season 1, right? Like no one's, you have to get more buy-in from your audience before you can make choices like this. And then oftentimes they just don't. They try to up the stakes. Okay, but what if bigger? And this just feels like, okay, but what if smaller, but what if more important? You know what I mean? What if more personal? And of course, like, in episode 2, we start getting these kind of chess pieces moving around with Rick Flag and them knowing what's in his house. And so like we can see this like other, these antagonistic forces swirling, and the conflict is being hinted at that's obvious, but it feels like the main plot, the main arc we are paying attention to is Chris and what he wants and how he feels about his past and all of that. And I think that I just want to give the show a lot of kudos, because superhero shit usually doesn't do that. And I just think I'm impressed, and I'm very happy that this is what we're getting. I've really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. What about you?
There's so many things I want to talk about. I could talk about the opening dance sequence. I can talk about the recap that kind of retcons the show into the DCU. I could talk about a lot of things, but I think the thing that I kind of want to start off with, which maybe might be the biggest, is that, and I heard someone say this, and I started really thinking about it, and I was like, God dang, they're right. Is that somehow Peacemaker season 2, about a character that even I was not that familiar with before the Suicide Squad.
No,
I wouldn't call him even a C-lister. Maybe like a D-lister character.
Yeah, well, I was looking at it. It's not like he had this like cult following character.
No, he's been brought up much more since the show and the movie.
Yeah, apparently he's in the Suicide Squad now, right? In the comics.
Yeah, well, he's got his own, I think he's got his own comic book now.
Oh, wow.
But the thing that I've seen this show do this season particularly that Marvel has not done is do the multiverse in an interesting and emotionally resonant way. And let me peel that back for you. So we've had a lot of multiverse stuff, and so far the multiverse has been, we're going to play on nostalgia and bring in cameo characters from other places, and we're going to like, oh look, here's Blade, here's Logan, right, and whatever. I would say the closest we've gotten to is No Way Home, when you had Andrew and Toby, and they really bring like a past experience to Tom Holland, right? And they're
Right,
like,
right.
hey, here's what we went through, and we're going to help you through that. And that's kind of like the closest we've gotten to it's the most interesting thing. I say the most interesting thing is instead of just seeing characters from different worlds that we've already visited or whatever from previous movies, is bringing your character into a
Mm,
different world and seeing how they react to a different
mm,
life.
yes.
That is an interesting way to do the multiverse. And even though it may not feel as grandiose because you don't have Tobey Maguire or Hugh Jackman coming back, you know how much more impactful it is. Like how crazy cool it is when he walks
Yeah,
in there. Like you said, his brother's alive, who we never saw as an adult. In the
yeah.
first season, or see his dad act this way. And we saw
Which I love.
how
It's Roy from The Office. That
I
guy,
do too.
that guy's career, man. He just doesn't. He just
He's
keeps
kind of like
popping up.
he's
It
kind of
just,
like a not comedy, but like a different version of John Barenthal, where he pops up in these small places,
yeah,
and now he's really good in it. Like he's actually a character actor,
yeah.
and
He
and
plays
like
like
he
such a
just
broy guy. You know what I mean? He's like such a
yeah.
broy yet like he plays
What
like
was it?
he does like
Was,
suburban dad perfectly.
was it
He
Rebel
does,
Ridge?
like,
Was he in Rebel Ridge, or
yeah, he was
the
one of the
cop?
cops.
Okay,
He was one of
yeah.
the he
So
was one of the cops. Yeah,
yeah, he was great in that too, and
like
so
he's so good at these like just kind of like
down to earth, like
somewhat
a
forgettable
real
characters,
guy.
but he brings something to it that makes his performances a bit more memorable.
Well, and I think it makes the world more grounded when he's in a scene.
Yeah, because he's also not
Yeah.
like Hollywood superstar attractive. He's like normal
Yeah.
attractive. You know what I
And
mean? Like he's
he has a different look here too. Like I don't think I've seen him with like
bald
bald and
and beard
yeah,
and looks pretty in shape too. I mean,
yeah. He looks
he looks
yeah.
lean.
He's
Um,
always looked tall, like really tall. But yeah,
yeah,
no. So I think just having this is the and also to tie into this is one thing James Gunn does really well, which I really appreciate in movies, and he does it. He's done it over Guardians movies. He's done it over other things. Is like you introduce something, let's say in a movie or a season of a television, and it's
yeah,
like a one-off thing where don't want to explain it too much, but
right.
then it becomes so much bigger, and that thing is the closet where it's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
is my dad's thing, and it was a thing in the show, and we had our own conversations
It was
about
just
it
a
when
bat
we
cave, essentially.
as a bat cave,
Yeah,
but it becomes like it's like oh he's never even explored it, like and he's
yeah,
never
yeah,
even he doesn't even really know what it is, and it's like
yeah,
adding when you add and that's the thing comic books do, like when you have a great writer come
yeah.
in and they retcon a character's history, they're like, oh, like the yellow ring and the Green Lantern ring. The yellow ring is that way because of this, not
Right,
because of
right,
this. And it's like you
right.
get
Yeah,
so much
yeah,
richer
yeah.
backstory, and it paints things in a different way. And so having that as the catalyst for the season in a bigger way than season one, when you go
Yes.
back and watch season one now, you're gonna be like, oh, that thing right there is important.
And again, I just want to applaud James Gunn for not doing the obvious multiverse plot here. I think the one we
There's
kind
like
of assumed,
when there's six peacemakers and there's different variations of
or
heroes,
just no,
and they're in
essentially
his
it's
world.
I think the obvious one would have been essentially Deadpool and Wolverine, but Peacemaker. Oh my! I found a better universe, and that ends up being the James Gunn universe, right? Like that to me is like
Which is what I thought was going to happen. Yeah.
exactly. To me, that's the odd. Okay, it's a multiverse thing. This is the season when we're officially bringing Peacemaker into our universe. To me, that's just like okay, that's fun plot.
I
and
do think
add
it's
in some
I think it's
humor and
cleaner.
some character moments.
I think it's
Well,
cleaner for the hardcore
it's
fans.
simpler, I would say.
Yeah, but I mean, he took the most simple route, like the even simpler than that, which I'm okay with. It means that I have to explain it to people now when they ask questions, but it's essentially
It's a
they
retcon.
retconned it. It's a retcon.
But
They
I-
just
but-
reshot
but,
the
like,
end there.
I'm glad that we didn't have to have a season to retcon something. Like I'm
No,
glad that
no,
it's like
in
again,
retrospect,
that
I am
feels like
too.
that feels like the obvious choice, right? Oh no, he
It's what I
wants
would
to
have
go to a
done.
better one, or this one's being destroyed, whatever, and Peacemaker's being ridiculous along the way. But this is like you said, it's like no. Retcon all that. Now let's tell a really interesting story. Yes, a multiverse is involved, but that's not the point. You know what I mean? Like that to me is like, yes, that's what I have felt from all of James Gunn's projects. And now that doesn't mean they've all been hits. I have some umbrage with some of his projects that I just don't think hit like he wanted them to. But
All
what I
of his
will,
projects, including Superman, are not flawless. They all have issues, all of them.
Guardians
not Guardians
1
1. Maybe
might
not Guardians 1.
be perfect, but
Characters aren't, they're not if you go back and watch 1, you're like, oh, that's how Drax was? Like, he's not what you think he is.
oh,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so it's
there's
not
some
accurate
consistent.
to the comics. Maybe is maybe
No. I'm saying it's not. It's like it's seeing Infinity War and 2 and 3 and all these things. It's like much different character. Some of the characters are different. They're still finding their way. The writing was still figuring out the characters at their core.
Sure. Yeah.
And so
not every joke hit, and that's,
maybe some
and that's
slight
true.
pacing stuff. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But all that to say is
Very minor. Very minor.
What I'm always confident in is that James Gunn is making this because he had an idea that he really likes. Right? It's like the idea led the way. And I think that's his philosophy for DC is we don't do it unless the script is done and it's good. The idea is what's most important. If we do not have this kind of like, cloud in the sky to chase after that is kind of our North Star of, is it good for the idea? Is it good for the story? If that's not constantly being asked, then like we're doing the wrong things. And again, like this plot for season 2 of Peacemaker feels right in line with that. No, fuck the easy answers. No, let's not worry about, just tying bows on things or give audiences seasons so they're not confused about the retcon or whatever. No. Let's just dig into this character. Let's explore his deepest, darkest fears and desires and see what happens when we just like rummage through all that shit. And I just think, man, like that just makes me more, in a way, it makes me more invested in the DCU. Like it just, I think maybe because Marvel and Star Wars to a degree have burned my trust in franchises as a whole. I have this idea that like franchises, peak and then they start going down, or it's like this idea that like what is promised ends up eventually not being delivered upon. Right? Like for a while they do good, for a while they give us something good, but then eventually they start not being able to deliver on the promises for a myriad of reasons. They just start consistently falling short. And I think that's always just a fear now of like, okay, that was good, but will the next one be? You know what I mean? There's just not this, it does any franchise. I'm suspicious if it can, even if it's good, I'm not convinced the next one will be anymore. And I think the more I get of James Gunn's DCU, the more I'm convinced, okay, I think I can trust this one a little more. I think I'm ready to get hurt again.
On the tag, I understand and I agree with you too. On the tag for the recap, I guess, whatever, I was hoping they would go back and actually just retcon the season finale of season 1, like actually just change that scene. And like it seems like they shot it. He said like it would cost more money and more resources to do it. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like you did it. I feel like you shot everything you need to just recut that scene.
What scene?
Well, when he walks out and sees the Justice League,
But he did redo that scene.
Well, I mean, it's not changed in the actual season. It's only changed in the recap. I went back to see, did you actually change it? Because that'd been really cool. Like, that'd been a cool little thing to actually just delete it and re-upload a new version. And I don't know why they didn't. But there may be some rights issues with actors being on a different TV show. And
well, they probably have to get the permission of everyone that was in that scene, and then they may have residuals on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like there may be something
Jason
like
Momoa and whatever his name, I forgot. I don't want to remember it. Flash, Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller.
Yeah. It's like they were the only two in it, and it's like they may just be like, you can't edit this out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think Jason Momoa would, because he's Lobo and Supergirl, and
he's so chill. Yeah,
and he's like, I don't care. He's not Aquaman anymore. But I think so. Like that was, I wish that would happen. But the other thing is real quick tying to like the DC and like Rick Flag Sr. It's interesting because we're getting flashbacks to the Suicide Squad. And so it's like the universe is getting bigger, in ways like quickly, because we're like, oh, this is part of the narrative now, like we know.
That is the one thing that I'm like curious if they will address is like the lack of an age gap between them. Like I did feel like they subtly tried to make Rick Flag seem a little older in some of those shots when he was reading the report. But he still just doesn't look.
He's just in great shape. I mean, he's
But
like in his late
also,
50s.
why did Rick Flag have gray hair in Creature Commandos?
From what I understand, it was just like a mess up. It was kind of like I mean, they said that. No, it wasn't because it was because he was shooting something else during Superman, and they didn't dye his hair. That was what it
The
was.
cartoon?
Well, the cartoon came out first, right? So his hair was gray in the cartoon. When he was shooting Superman, they couldn't dye his hair
So
for
his hair is
contract reasons.
supposed to be gray.
Yeah, and they
essentially.
kept it because they're like, well, we did this and whatever. It's like it's a flaw. It's a continuity flaw.
Okay.
Or he started doing
It would help.
men's hair.
It would help
hair
if
for
his
men.
hair was gray, honestly.
Yeah, well, you could tell they thought about it in the cartoon, which was the first thing, and then they couldn't pull it off
okay.
in the because of the movie. And so anyway, but again, it
forgive
gets
it now.
for like hardcore fans like me and this, wanting things to be simple and clean, it gets confusing when you have because this even the Suicide Squad was kind of like this weird maybe sequel to Suicide Squad, the first
Well,
one.
I think it was in that just that it made a comment on it in the very beginning of it.
Yeah, well, Viola Davis is the same. Margot Robbie is the same. Even
Boomerang, right?
Jai Courtney, yeah, Boomerang is the same.
What's his name from SNL? Pete Davidson.
He's not in. He wasn't in Suicide Squad.
Was he in any of the other Suicide Squads?
No, that was his only thing he was in was that first movie.
Was there a
James
rumor
Gunn.
he was going to be or something like that?
No.
Okay.
We know that Margot Robbie. I mean, we're pretty much hinted at that Margot Robbie will not be Harley Quinn in the DCU. So anyway, there's just
We're hinted she's not.
we're hinted. Yeah, we're hinted that she's not. And so
Where do we hinted that?
James from James Gunn.
Oh,
He's
okay,
kind of been
okay.
like, we'll see, and like, well, and Margot Robbie's like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think I'm coming back, and I'm saying conversations like that behind the scenes. So the point is, like, there's some muddiness here, and what's canon and what's not canon. James Gunn's ultimate rule is if we reference it in a flashback, whatever, then that's canon, which is super.
I
All
kind of
right,
like it. I like it. I think it plays a
fine.
little more loose with it in a way that I think is okay. I think we don't have to try to Tolkienize every world where there's, you know what I mean? Like where everything is thought through, like every alien has an actual language we came up with, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, I like it because it feels more like the old school way before the MCU started, where it was like things were just kind of happening in different universes, like whatever. And to me, the specialness of MCU was the consistency and like knowing everything,
Sure.
knowing when things fit in and whatever. I'm a nerd like that, but those are to me are housekeeping things. I do want to get back to kind of the root of the show real quick so far. And also let's talk about this will tie into the opening credits actually, his relationship with Harcourt and her journey so far too. And people really they like the opening for the new season. I think people don't like it as much as season one because that was just the song and the dance because it was such a out of left field thing for the first season. But I like this one better because it has this sweetness to it and this bitterness to it. Or more like melancholy.
The song isn't as strong. Like, do you really want to taste it? Is such a perfect that's the first
season.
lyrics.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a really strong you just remember that. That's like a hook that you're going to remember, and you remember as soon as you say that, you remember what the visuals. The song just isn't quite as strong lyrically. It doesn't have quite as strong of a hook. But the best part is the end where it's like fa la 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 la. Like it almost sounds like it's doing like a musical thing. I love it when it gets there. Like that to me is the best part of the intro. Is that
when Eagly does his little dance for a second?
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Usually they let that keep playing over kind of the first scene, and I think like that, and I agree. It has this theatrical yet tragic yet
it does
bittersweet feel to it, and even I think Peacemaker's his expression during that dance is really good, like how he looks and stuff. Yeah, man, I'm really interested to see how this Peacemaker Harcourt thing goes, especially now he's talking to the other Harcourt.
Hey.
And I just want to say again, James Gunn, brave of you to put your wife, in romantic situations with people in far better shape than you are. Yeah. But that's the sign of a strong relationship. So I'm happy.
I think
for
so.
you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's they seem like they're really good together, and it's fun seeing her in this role because she's great at it, and she's great in the
Yes.
fight scenes, and she has a really cool, interesting female badass. You know what I'm saying? It feels
Yeah.
different than some of the other ones I've seen in the last 10 years or so, and I like it. I like her journey, and I
Yeah.
like her tough exterior, and I like how her and like him. Like, here's the thing too. John Cena has quickly become a good actor. He's
Yeah.
been doing wrestling for a long time, and there's a lot of there's acting every minute of that job, and
Yeah.
he's still doing it. He's on his farewell tour at the moment, but he's actually become someone who can do some decent acting. And it's even just seeing him do the fishing thing where he like puts his leg up to like get like to like reel her in
Oh yeah.
harder.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, he's got some chops, like just his facial expressions and when he's losing it and when he's having like a mental breakdown with Amanda Waller's daughter and
Yeah.
all these things, man. I'm just like we're 2 episodes in, we have 6 to go, and I'm in it for the ride. And
Yeah.
even the character who's with Economos in the van, like this
Oh,
ridiculous
that guy. He's
character.
like another guy that just shows up in everything all the time.
Oh yeah.
He was the cannibal child eater in Brooklyn Nine-Nine when Jake was in prison.
Yes,
Remember him?
yes,
He
yes.
was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm a cannibal,
Yeah.
but I only eat kids or something.
Well, he's got a great like voice and the way he does like a kind of like a deadpan kind of delivery on things.
It's amazing.
And I liked how James used him in this too, and he names everybody, and oh man, it's just he's so
And I
fun.
loved. Does every episode have a scene at the end after the credits? Because I may have been missing some, but
This one did.
this one did.
The last two did actually. Yeah, both so far have. Yeah, yeah.
But the one with him where he's making that, I was getting like
Yeah.
having sex with 2 women or whatever, and he's like, "What were their names?"
Yeah, what were their names? Yeah, they were like
was
old timey
bald.
1940s name. Yeah, one of them was bald, but they're like Phoenician twins, is what he said, or something. And it's like it got more, and then but Economos is kind of like he like buys it. He's like, oh well, were they hot? Like, and he's like, yeah, they were hot. He's like, dang, like he's like, damn, that's
Yeah,
cool,
when like
He gets you
like,
at the end.
well, because in the scene in the moment, you feel like the character's playing. He's trying to play it straight. He's trying to actually like be cooler than him.
Oh
And
yeah,
there's part of you that says, I don't know, maybe this character, maybe he is that like kind of guy. He's just like, that was who he was in college. But then you get the after credits and you're like, I don't think he did that. You know what I mean? I
oh
don't think
definitely
he made
not,
this up.
definitely not.
And I just love that they saved that for the credits.
The funniest thing in the episode for me was when he comes in and he's like, how do you want to greet each other? And which is like the weirdest thing ever. And he's like, maybe like a nod, and he's like, whoa, Mr. Cool Man. I'm gonna start calling you Ginger Cool. And he's like giving him a massage, and it's like it's so like I can't write that because I can't imagine any actor pulling it off or it making sense. But when you see it, like, oh, this is so funny. Like this is funny.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
loved it.
he's a very it reads as he's like those people that like try way too hard in social situations, like
Yeah.
to be a certain kind of person or to appear a certain way. Yeah, no, it was great, and I loved. I mean, it was great having Eagly take them all out when they.
Yeah.
I was scared. I was like, man, Eagly's gonna die, and that's gonna be a part of like, Chris's spiral or something like that. But nope, he stayed alive and just like killed a SWAT team almost.
Eagly is like crypto, like Groot, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
he's that kind of character where he brings in the those kind of moments. I wasn't a fan of him taking that guy's eye out just because I'm like sometimes the violence is a little too much for me. Just because I'm like it just feels a little unnecessary or just too gross. But overall, I mean I thought it was pretty great and yeah, I mean where we ended that season or episode, I mean I'm very excited for episode 3. And the thing too is like I'm wondering who the villain. I mean, maybe if Rick Flag Sr. is the villain. And
Yeah.
the question is, do you think Rick Flag Sr. will survive because according to James Gunn, he's important to other projects down the
Yeah.
line. I mean, I'm assuming that he maybe doesn't forgive him, but like understands him better and leaves him alone at least.
I don't know, man. I have a feeling that might not happen. I feel like this
Maybe it
may make
I could
Rick
do it.
Flag even more anti-meta human-y. You know what I mean? What it seems like to
interesting.
me
Gotcha.
is that
That makes
what
sense.
as far as like antagonists and even the antagonist of like the first Justice League movie, I don't really anticipate it being like a Brainiac or like a Dark Side, these like big antagonistic enemies. I think it's going to be just like working together almost. Like the big bad is failure to communicate. Like it just the vibes from the Superman movie, it just feels like the challenge is going to be to just save a world that is in chaos and that doesn't want to be saved sometimes, and governments want this and that. I feel like it's going to be just kind of this like a clusterfuck, and it requires the Justice League to come together and kind of supersede all that and bring everyone together and save the day. So I'm wondering if it's going to be, and maybe there will be a kaiju thrown in there to spice it up, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things where like no one's actually a bad guy. They all have their competing desires and goals, and those are clashing, and they're willing to fight for them. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean they're evil. You know, that's just the vibe this world is giving to me, and kind of like even just this Rick Flag coming up against Peacemaker. To me, it feels like it's just going to be like Rick Flag is kind of this force that's going to push Peacemaker to make whatever decision he needs to make, or whatever the climax of his character arc. To me, it's like almost Rick Flag is like this just time bomb that's coming. And so he's going through this character journey that in theory you would want to have plenty of time to work through, but he can't because of this. And so I'm guessing that to me is kind of where I'm sensing the tension going. Maybe I'm wrong. And I just think it would be difficult for me to accept that through the events of the next 6 episodes, Rick Flag can like forgive Peacemaker, or like, I don't know. I just think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, forgive's a strong word. I think like let him live. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just thinking about his arc from Superman and how he was like not anti-metahuman, but he kind of was Lex was able to kind of convince him to be a little like, it felt like his opinion on metahumans was pliable. You know what I mean? Like he was able to be swayed to be a little less. Like he didn't love them, but he didn't hate them. But he's like,
well, the last thing said to him was, "Oh, so they're making the decisions now." Like that one, whoever the guy was, and he had a look on him, kind of like, "Yeah, this could be a problem." You know?
Yes. And like, and even if you think about how he was in Creature Commandos, like he was working with metahumans, right? At that point, and it was a cluster. Like, you know what I mean? Like from what I remember, the end of that show, he wasn't happy. I don't think it went well from his perspective.
Are we going to get Dr. Phosphorus in the last 3 episodes, like a live action version?
That would be amazing. Or the robot, or GI.
Do it, James Gunn.
GI, what's his name?
GI Robot, yeah.
He was awesome. He
was so good, dude. Man, that's what we need now.
Anyway, I'm just looking at Rick Flag, and I'm like, okay, he worked with metahumans. Now he's working for the government, but kind of deals with them. Okay, but now he's like sent to hunt them. It just kind of seems like we could be, you know, the enemy could be Rick Flag and Lex and all these other kind of government powers that want to take back control from metahumans or some shit. I don't know.
As far as Peacemaker's arc, because he's going to a place where everything is good, the obvious answer for one, and also it seems like because he saved the world in the season 1, and he's kind of on this new leaf of like trying to be a hero, it's like he wants to be accepted. He wants to be in the Justice Gang. He wants people to kind of recognize that. And since because he's getting that in this alternate world, the automatic inclination is his arc is he has to be okay saving people without like a true hero, without the recognition, without in a humble way. And I also feel like the end of the season will not be him and Harcourt together. It'll be like, you know, you don't have to fuck every female friend you have kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like yes, there's tension here, but maybe it's okay that we're not compatible, you know? You know, and like she has her own things to do, and maybe someday, but right now, no. Like it's not the right time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, we will definitely see. I mean, it is, you know, as far as go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not to cut you up. It's hard to imagine the things happening in the alternate reality, them sticking in the current reality. I mean, unless it's like we have an Ironheart where it's like they just choose like, no, I'm going to stay in the alternate reality, and it's like in season 3 something different. Also, I imagine he's going to reject what he finds there. because
Well, they
because you
they
know
didn't work in that universe either, though. They're broken up there too. So that might even be like, look, even in a perfect world, we don't fit.
across all timelines it doesn't work
Yeah,
out. It's
yeah.
like very Doctor Strange a little bit.
Or yeah, no, who knows? I mean,
Yeah,
I do
maybe.
feel like Chris's arc is he's somewhat of a simple character if you look at it. He's a child that didn't get the love and attention he needed as a child, or as he's an adult that didn't get the love and attention as a child, so now he needs it as an adult and from anywhere he can get it. It's a very common story. In fact, that describes most people, I think, to some degree. And so he's going to this universe where he got all the things he needed as a kid to be a confident adult and not worry about what other people think. Right? Like if you've got those strong, secure relationships at home and you know you're loved and you know you have support, you can go out in the world and not give a fuck what other people think because you know what you've got. The people that know you, that really know you, are there for you, and that's enough. But when you don't have that, it's like then anywhere you can get that kind of attention, anywhere you can get acknowledgement or love or attention, like you're desperate for it. And I think that was the season one of Peacemaker, right? He has no close relationships. His father hates him. His best friend, he doesn't like his best friend, basically doesn't like hanging out with him. And so he's just incredibly insecure, incredibly selfish, all that stuff. He finds friends, he finds, people, and then he's able to evolve a little bit, right? And so, I mean, I guess like in terms of his arc, it's like, it's really, I mean, he's kind of going through therapy right now, or a version of therapy. In some ways, he's imagining the life he should have had, and kind of giving his younger self some of that now. In some ways, a little child therapy-ish. And so, like, I mean, I do think on the other side of this, Chris is going to be just a more confident person, right? Like, he's not going to need validation as much. Maybe some still, but not
Agreed.
as much.
Yeah.
Now,
I could see them calling him like, "Hey, there's a slot open. You want another interview?" And he's like, "I'm good."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that to me is where I think he will end up emotionally. The plot around that, I think it could go a lot of different ways. Like
Agreed.
where he ends up,
Yeah.
and who he ends up with, and
He
so
could end up in space for all we know.
and like that's to me like what like that. As people that watch movies and TV a lot and consume a lot of stories, it's a lot of things can become pretty predictable. You know what I mean? Like
For sure.
Once
We just predicted the end of the season. Yeah.
right, but like even when you're watching a show, just you recognize the foreshadowing. You recognize, oh, that shot means this, right? We can get to one of those in Alien in a minute because I have one I want to talk about. But and so in some ways, like it can kind of certain shows can become less interesting because it feels like you can just predict what's going to happen every time.
Yeah.
But I think the good shows don't worry about that and just give you a good journey, even if they know you can detect kind of the bigger arcs that are coming, right?
For sure.
And I think that to me that's what Peacemaker's doing. It's like, yeah, and he's going through a pretty classic hero journey, right? Hero has a problem in his life. Hero has to go to his past to work through it, and now Hero has worked through the problem and accomplished the goal. But it's all those details around it and watching Chris go through it. That's the meat, and that's what it feels like. This James Gunn, that's what he was paying attention to, giving us a great journey, a great actor, a great character, and fun and plot that you can't just guess. Even though I know where Chris is going to end up emotionally, I just have no idea, and that gives me something to still be surprised by.
I don't want to discuss this too much. I do want to get to Alien Earth, but I do think, not even concerned, but I'm, like you're saying, curious because it feels like we have two things going on now. We have Chris in this past, and then you have Rick Flag Sr. I'm curious to see how these interweave. And again, it may be there's something else that happens externally that Rick Flag needs Peacemaker on top of trying to get, so I'm curious to see how these two roads really intersect as we keep pushing through the season.
Funniest thing that would be exactly like what you said if that alien that doesn't ever say hi to him ends up being like the
Gosh
bad guy
dang.
of this
Dude,
the
that
it
has
becomes
to
the
be
big
it.
bad of something.
That has to be it. Like, what's he doing? What's
Yeah,
he
it feels like he's
building?
going to be important. He may not even come back up this season. Like you could almost imagine him coming
Well,
up in like
it's
the
another closet
Superman
thing,
sequel.
or yeah, it's another thing where it's like he's nobody right now, but who could he be later? Dude, I imagine now it's like because we're being primed to not like him because Chris doesn't like
He's going
him.
to be a good guy.
No, I think he could be. I think he could be the antagonist of the season. You now you've got me
Or
convinced
I
he's
was
the
saying he's the
antagonist.
antagonist of like the Justice League movie.
Maybe.
You know?
He does look like a certain race from the comics. I can't quite remember at the moment.
Okay.
The Annihilator race or something. It might be from Marvel. But that's also a great gag. Yeah, he's just like that mother. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't
when
acknowledge
he
me.
yells it, yeah, because he's
Yeah.
like trying to make him hear over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good stuff. Good stuff, man. All right. I mean, again, we're excited. If you haven't watched Peacemaker at all, go check it out. If you're watching season 2 like we are, we hope you keep following us and talking about it because we got lots of theories and we love talking about it. We love watching it. Really quick, we don't spend too much time on this. Alien Earth,
Ooh
episode
boy.
4.
Ooh, buddy.
I'm not sure we talked about episode 3 last week. I think we
did.
talked about 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. So 4. Real quick, what are you thinking? It's a slower episode. We're kind of getting back into, we're talking about the kids more. Obviously,
I
no more
think
xenomorph action. What's going on with
I
you?
think it had one of the scariest, creepiest moments of anything alien I've ever seen.
The fucking lamb, dude.
Oh my god! When he stood
Staring
on
at
his
you.
hind legs for a second
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then went down, like that was just like that
Yeah.
was just like
He's smart, dude.
spine tingling.
That thing is smart.
And I'll tell you the foreshadow. Like I'm 10,000% sure that eye is getting inside of Boy Genius. There's just no other version of it. He's the intelligent person. That's the intelligent monster. There was a shot where they're both looking at. It's kind of cutting between them.
Yeah,
There's a shot
yeah.
where one of Boy Genius's eyes is completely in shadow. I'm like,
Oh,
that's
I
it.
didn't,
That's
I
the
didn't, I didn't
foreshadowing.
catch that, but dude, that's
It's
it.
happened.
That's
thing
perfect
is
foreshadowing.
coming
Yeah.
for him. He's the super intelligent person. That's the super intelligent creature.
Well, it's the
Match made in heaven.
classic. It's the last. We're doing a montage in the end of season 1, and it's like, here's what Wendy's doing now. Here's what this guy's doing. Oh, Boy Genius. He's putting in some contact lenses. Oh, it's a fucking alien in there too. Like
Yeah,
it's like hidden versus obvious.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But man, that scene was just. I mean, it's one of the. I think to me, is like one of the most effective, like just kind of alien monstery horror things I've seen in terms of it. Like this isn't a moment where the alien is running at a character and we're getting jump scares. This is a moment where we're just watching it. And like, man, so fucking creepy. So like just watching it dig the eyeball out, like just all of that was just amazing. And then the way
Lots
it was,
of eye stuff lately. Lots of eye horror lately. Superman and Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and now this. It's like, what's going on?
but yeah, man, I think I'm super on board. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, I think it. Again, this is one now where it kind of like a few episodes we've been moving chess pieces into place. It feels like, and this last one, it felt like it moved some of the final pieces into place for shit to start going down, as far as slightly trying to break someone out, like getting someone infected with the alien parasite, like
And he's listening and he's observing. Like,
right. The guy knows about it, and he's clearly going to let it happen.
I think so. Yeah,
I think so. 100. He would have already intervened. I think, but
I think so. Again, that guy when he's talking to the other guy, he's talking to his mom, Morrow, is like he has to be my favorite TV actors right now.
Well, it's actually a really chilling and I mean like realistic depiction of how to manipulate kids.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? It's like
aren't we friends?
This is like a pedophile's playbook right here.
Oh,
like in some
yeah,
way. I mean, like, but it is like that. You get this icky feeling when it happens because it's like,
oh yeah,
this is how people do this to kids. This is exactly how they do it. They play on kids' sense of right and wrong. They play on kids' sense of just the kids' gullibility or just lack of understanding of things. And yeah, it's done really well in a creepy, like, holy shit, this is,
and we're
makes my
now
skin crawl in a way.
when I see the kids, now we're four deep, I'm like, I know their personalities. I kind of know what some of them want. And
Yeah.
then also like, and also because their personalities, it's making the line of are they a robot? Are they are
Hmm.
human? It's even more blurry because they like even want to compete
Yeah.
against each other and they want to gain
Yeah.
favor with others and like, oh, you got a name? Oh, your brother's here. Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
little things like the tension between them is also rising. And
Well,
so,
that therapy scene. Whew, that was another great scene, dude. And
yeah,
just like exactly, I mean, like literally, Catherine's watching it. It's like I'm watching a scene that says, "What if one of my patients had the superpower?" Like that's basically, what
yeah,
if someone going through
yeah,
a very severe mental crisis, psychosis, breakdown, also was the strongest and most powerful and fastest person in the room. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like
yeah,
not like again. It just feels like these first few or episodes have just been dropping Alka-Seltzers into Coke bottles, and
for
now we're just
sure.
starting to shake it up. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah. I think it's all interesting. Again, I
it's
like
great.
the ideological things. I like the philosophical questions. And, again, we brought it back to Alien at the end. I haven't really checked the comments, even though I know like the alien world is on fire right now. It has to be.
Certain parts of it are. It's really interesting. There's a few different. I'll speak anecdotally about Reddit. There's a few different alien communities. One of them is very against, very hardcore fan, like complaining about how wet the xenomorph's mouth is, like just
Well,
picking
that's
it to
so that's
just
stupid. I'm more
oh
concerned
yeah.
about her basically befriending a xenomorph. I in
Oh,
the context of it, that's what I'm saying. Like to me, that's never happened before. That's not at least in the live action stuff. That's not a thing that's been done. I think it tracks. I mean, the alien queen communicates to her warriors or whatever, and she can speak. Like like a dog, like you're barking at a dog. Like the dog may not know what you're talking about, but it knows something's familiar here.
well, and I think too, it tracks because I've always kind of felt like the synthetics have always kind of been on the alien side in a lot of these films, right? In a way of like they're wanting to see what happens. They let them out. You know what I mean? Like David,
Right.
it's like the synthetics are always kind of sympathetic to the aliens up to this point already.
Yeah.
And so it kind of makes sense
Well, they're
because,
the same. They're both going through a metamorphosis.
yeah, and like, well, and just to be honest, they're not food. So the aliens just doesn't want to eat them. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so like there's just this kind of like they've kind of had this like quiet alliance, up to this point in the films and movies. And so I think it makes complete sense that yes, a synthetic with the brain or heart of a human might have more ability to communicate with another alive thing. You know what I mean? Like I think it tracks. I think it makes sense.
That and in every of the other live action things, no one's been in a position to analyze them because they always die. You know what I'm saying? It's
Sure.
it's 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 never even like, oh, what do they sound like? Like Ripley is not gonna
Yes, there's
can,
no
can
time
repl
to worry about that.
Ripley can't replicate to the people at Weyland-Yutani what the fucking thing sounded like. I mean, she's
Right.
worried about killing it. And
Exactly.
so when you get scientists around it, and it's like, I mean, we do the same thing with like dinosaurs. We're like trying to replicate
Hmm.
and 3D print vocal cords and things like that. So what did this thing sound like someday? So it's not to me out of the stretch of possibility to experiment, and so it
No.
tracks for me.
And
And
listen, motherhood and pregnancy is one of the strongest, most consistent themes, I feel like, especially in Alien 1 and
aliens,
Aliens.
motherhood, life cycle, Alien One,
Well, and
pregnancy, life
just the
cycle,
whole, I mean,
biology,
and just like
femininity.
there's so much feminist theory, that you can address, like in terms of like the face hugger looks like a vagina underneath. And then it
Yeah,
impregnates by penetrating someone, and it's usually a man. Like there's all this like Freudian level of like,
sure.
what are we thinking? What was going through minds when these ideas came about?
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? And so like that feel even the girl, I'm pregnant. Well, you can't be pregnant. You know what I mean? And then Wendy's kind of being the surrogate mother to this alien, right? Like there's just it
Yeah.
continues to like toy with these ideas of sexuality and gender and pregnancy and reproduction, and it's just life cycles, you know what I mean? Like I think in those ways it continues to feel so congruent with the older alien stuff to me, where
Yeah.
it just feels like in line with that.
I agree too. And like another point, kind of tying back to the manipulation of the kids, Boy Cavalier. I mean, him and I can't, Amaro are very identical. He's like, if I was your brother, I wouldn't have done that. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's so many parallels between so many characters, and they're also so different and different objectives and goals. And I think it's very rich. I mean, I'm just,
very rich.
like, do I want to see an xenomorph every episode? I kind of do, but also, if I'm getting stuff like this, I'm okay, like,
Yeah.
living in the moment for a little bit and getting more character stuff. And when the xenomorphs do show up, then I'll care more about what's going on.
Yeah, and I think to me then it's kind of it it's treading or threading the needle between kind of the two camps of Alien and what certain people believe Alien to be. There's certain people where it's just Alien's a slasher movie in space where you shouldn't have all the answers. It's a Lovecraftian space horror, and there's other people that's like I love all the hard sci-fi origin of humans, founders, black goo shit. You know what I mean? And like there is crossover. There's some people that like both, but it feels like those are the two strong camps to me in the Alien fan base. And to me, one I guess the fan bases might differ. I feel like this is doing a really good job of giving us both. It's giving us straight horror, like Xenomorph. First two episodes, Xenomorph was everywhere. You know what I mean? And then like we're clearly about to get another one, maybe the next episode. You know what I mean? And so like, but at the same time, we're slowing down and we're speculating, we're thinking about these monsters and what they mean about our universe and what they mean for humanity. I think that is all the parts of like of Prometheus that I loved. You know what I mean? And so I think I'm just applauding the show because I feel like it's as not a hardcore Alien fan in the sense of that I'm strongly in either camp, right? Like I don't have a hot take on Alien like I do Star Wars or Marvel or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's everything I could want from it. It's making me want more Alien in general. And I think that's exactly what it should be doing. I mean, I think like it's hit to me. It's like right now it's kind of 10 out of 10. I'm not finding any issues with it. I'm hooked to my screen the whole time. I can't wait to have the next episode. I'm excited to see what the Alien universe, like there's just so many possibilities for stories in this, post like apocalyptic capitalistic universe. Yeah.
Yeah, again, bringing in new aliens is like it seems obvious, but it's a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could even think, what maybe that thing will die by trying to get into the eye of a xenomorph, and then acid blood kills it. You never know. That's good, or it takes control of a xenomorph.
I think it'll be too smart for that, but yeah.
It may be, but I'm saying like you don't know what's going to happen and what these other creatures are going to do too. And you're right, it's ripe for just entertainment, and I'm excited, man. Alien is back. I said it last week. It's back though.
Yeah,
And,
I mean it's just got that kind. I think some of the good seasons of Stranger Things had this too, where it just has that good horror aesthetic that you get that just nice, in some ways cozy, creepy feeling. And I think outside of being Alien, it's just a good horror television show. And honestly, we don't have a lot of those like that are good, like
right.
Hannibal, like that, like some of the seasons of Stranger Things, like this. Like we just don't have like high budget, top tier actors horror, because and it makes sense because there's just not nearly as big of an audience for that. But it's so nice when we get it and when it's great. Like it's just
Maybe we can get lucky and have Bruce on in the last episode of this. Like, hey, Bruce, what'd you think? I don't know. I don't know if he's watched it. I don't know if he's got access. I'm sure he's got access to it, but I would assume it's on the top of his list of things to want to watch. But I don't know.
So. Yeah, I would love to have him to review
the whole season.
Show.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. No, cool. I think we did it. I looked at my Peacemaker. I looked at my Alien Earth. Next week we'll be back talking about, I think, both again. I think we're kind of locked into these two things for a couple weeks, and it's good content. It's a good podcast time for me.
Two good shows. I mean, it's really nice right now because Tuesday night and Thursday nights are just locked in. You know what I mean? Every Tuesday night and every Thursday night we got a great show to watch, which is really nice.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Not always the case.
But well, before we go, we like to highlight one last thing that may or may not be TV or movie related. Daniel?
I'm going to highlight, and I know I'm gonna sound like a shill, but I'm actually going to highlight an Apple service that I did not know about until recently. It's
The
called
new one that you can share shit now, or
I don't no no. It's called iTunes Match. It's been around a few
oh,
years. It's been
okay.
around a few years, and this may not be cool. It's really cool to me as someone that makes a lot of my own music and wants to like put my music in my iTunes so I can listen to it in my car and stuff. But it's only $25 a year, so it's not. It's really nothing price wise. And essentially, it's the ability that like anytime you put anything into your Apple Music stuff, you upload whatever, it will automatically sync that to every other device that you are logged into with Apple Music. Like stream it down there, or like I guess upload it to the cloud, and then you can download it on your devices. And like it makes a lot of sense. Like for people that if you have a lot of downloaded music, you don't really stream a lot. Like maybe you just have your own CDs you've ripped or whatever it is. Like this is a really easy way to get access to that without having to go through the process of hooking up your phone to the computer, syncing it through iTunes, making sure it actually synced everything because sometimes it doesn't. It's just a very easy, convenient service for someone like me that is kind of constantly uploading music that isn't on, like the only way for me to listen to it is to upload it so I can listen to it on my phone. So kind of random, I don't know. It's not movie or TV related for sure. But it's been around for a few years and I've never even heard of it. It was like, I thought like at first they were like, yeah, you just got to sign up for Apple Music. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But no, it's iTunes Match, completely different service. It's not very well advertised. You have to kind of go look for it. But it's there if you want
it. The question: did I talk about F1 last week for my before we go?
No,
I don't think so either.
We talked about it a little earlier.
Yeah, that's my before we go. So I watched F1 starring Brad Pitt. It's directed by I think Joseph Krasinski. I could be wrong on the name. Same guy who directed Top Gun Maverick. Same cinematographers, Top Gun Maverick and F1 as well. And so just, it's a good summer blockbuster. It doesn't reinvent the wheel. It has some cool new techniques for new shots. But it stars Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem. Love both of them. And it was just nice seeing a really well-made, well-acted show. And you think you know how it's going to end, and it ends that way. But there's something comforting about that. And you're like, oh, yeah, here's something where it's not going to throw me a zinger and just be poor. This place or that place. And also it's made like $1 million more than Superman. It came out before Superman, I believe. And now it's slowly but surely kind of kept ahead of it. And then it caught back up to it after Superman kind of come out. And so now it's slowly outpacing Superman. He'll probably have a bigger box office at the end, by like $1 million or $2 million. But that's an achievement. A movie about racing making $600 million. And it beats every single superhero movie this year.
And it's it's original IP in that it's an original story. It's not like a biopic.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? And I think biopics give you more of a guaranteed audience probably. When
I agree.
You do it about big people. But I know it's interesting that I think it's continuing the trend that we've been noticing that audiences are hungry for different than they've been getting. I did see,
and not even different, but they're hungry for the way it used to be.
Yeah. They're just hungry for stories that aren't all the same.
Yeah,
makes sense. But
this year we've had a lot of good different types of movies. Go on.
Well, I saw that Fantastic Four closed, and they made $100 more than Thunderbolts, I think.
No, it made $100 million more.
$100 million. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Thunderbolts made like 378. This is made like 480 or something.
Yeah. That, which again feels like crazy if you think about like
both good movies. I think in the context of superhero movies,
though, or like the popularity of the characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, particularly Fantastic Four. You could look at it. Thunderbolts was a sequel to like a lot of Disney Plus characters, and also a character from Black Widow, which is also released today and day out. It's Disney Plus. And Fantastic Four was the third iteration of a team in 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, and also Marvel's at a place where it's not as strongest at the moment. It's not its weakest. That may have been 2 years ago or last year. It maybe its weakest. I don't know. But I think
It's
these
not.
films are suffering from the fallout of other things.
I think it's at its weakest, maybe financially in terms of
For sure.
return. I think
Yeah.
it's not at
Agreed.
its weakest in terms of like it's crawled a little bit out of the fan hole it had dug itself
Yeah.
into.
Its weakest was like that 6 months before and after the Marvels, where it's like the TV shows weren't for us, like Secret Invasion weren't hitting. The Marvels cost like $200+ million and only made like $80 million worldwide. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
is a
that's
catastrophic failure. Like that's how people get fired over that kind of stuff.
And the first one made $1 billion.
Made $1 billion. Yeah.
And when you think about that, you're like, that seems like in today's market, you're like a Captain Marvel movie made $1 billion. What?
Yeah, exactly.
That just does not compute at all.
I was surprised it made $1 billion back then, but you know, anyway, yeah. So F1, go check it out. It's on Apple TV now, I think, to rent. It should be like on their actual service pretty soon if you're subscribed to Apple TV Plus. Go check it out. And there's also some great movies. I mean, we have The Running Man coming out. I mean, again, guys, The Amateur, The Accountant 2, Weapons. There's some great like lower budget movies this year that I'm like,
Yeah.
I like them just as much as or
The
more than
sub
Superman.
$50 million budget movie may become like maybe the best we're getting right now.
I mean, they're making like $300-400 million, $600 million in some places, and they cost an eighth of the price.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean,
They just had really good ideas.
They just had good
Funny.
ideas.
Funny
and
how that
good
works.
and good filmmaking that helps a lot. If you haven't seen The Accountant 2, Daniel, you need to watch that. That's a 4-quadrant movie.
I need
Very
to see The
disappointing.
Accountant 1 first.
It's fun. It's good. I really like it a lot. It's really good. Anyway, if you haven't already subscribed to the podcast, youtube.com/@realtherapypod. And of course, you can find us on all podcast services, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're probably there. If you can, leave us 5-star reviews. We only take 5-star reviews. If you try to leave us anything less, the system will reject you and lock you out of your account. So just wouldn't try that at all.
Yeah,
And-
it'll lock you out of every account you own.
yeah.
And all
Even your
across
bank-
all services. Yeah, it will
Even
steal
your bank
money.
account. Yeah. Yeah. So I just wouldn't do it. Yeah, everyone. I
I
wouldn't do
wouldn't
it.
either. Yeah, I wouldn't risk it.
I wouldn't either. So anyway, my name is Donavon Thompson,
I'm Daniel Wingfield.
and we'll see you at your next session.
Real Therapy is brought to you by 241 Studios and viewers like you. Thanks for stopping by. Remember to tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. for a new session with Daniel and Donavon. And remember,
They're gonna talk about how it makes them feel. They're gonna watch all the movie reels, 'cause it's Dan and Don in